Hello, everybody. Sorry I'm a little late. I had to get things ready. I'm Katrina. This is Sow and Tare, a live chat, and I hope everybody's doing well. I was just outside. Sorry, let me take off my dirty sweatshirt that Mr. Ringo walked all over. Um, Homesteader job never done. Exactly, Verna. Exactly. Um, yeah. So before I get into it, I just checked on Rexy. You guys would have seen in the week in review, but you didn't because it didn't go out. um, Miss Rexy is sick with something. She's chicken. Don't know what's going on. I don't know if she ate a bug, got bit by a spider, or something else. I don't feel any eggs in her, so I don't think she's egg bound. I am going to give her a Epsom salt bath after this. Um, she's been molting and her feathers are growing in. So like it's not lice. I don't see lice or mites on her. Um, Something's going on with her. Her comb is discolored and flopped over. Um, Honestly, this morning I thought I was going to wake up to a chicken gone. But she was up and around with her sisters this morning, and I did start giving all the girls some lentils and rice. Thank you for the reminder, Verna. And so hopefully that will help. But I just started yesterday. I mean, I noticed when I picked her up. I haven't picked her up in a while. She was a little bit light. So it's probably something that she's been dealing with for a little bit. And then yesterday kind of kicked in. I did put some water with apple cider vinegar in there for them. And she seemed to enjoy that and perked up a little after she had some of that. Um, Gave them a cucumber. Yes, a cucumber from last year. I still have the giant cucumbers. Um, Cucumber water gives some extra electrolytes. Um, I don't know where my electrolytes are that I had for um, the quail, but when I'm going to town tomorrow, I'll go and stop at Tractor Supply and get some of that. So I don't know what's going on with her. The other two are doing fine. I picked them up and they were not losing weight as well. So they are eating a new food. Um, but I suspect that there's something going on with the old food. So I don't know if the new food is, I mean, they've had it for a couple weeks now, but there could be something going on. Yeah. And like Verna says, mineral deficiency can play mean tricks on one's body. And I'm wondering if that's it. And I just thought of, I have those seaweed snacks. Does that have too much oil in them to try and give out to them? Anybody know? Because those will have micronutrients. I should do that. I'll do that after, unless somebody totally against it. Um, you guys know what I'm talking about, little dried seaweed snacks. I know I went through something a few months ago now that for a couple weeks, 2.5 weeks, I was craving those seaweed snacks. Too much salt. Good point. Good point, Myrna. I wonder if I crush it up and mix it in water, if that would be, I don't know, would like a little bit be too much salt? I don't know. But yeah, that is a good point. Too much salt. Um, yeah, the oil is what I I'm gonna go get it. Oil is what I was thinking of. I'll be right back. This is the one I have because this is what Grocery Outlet has. Yeah, I went through something that I was craving these, and these are just okay to me. They're not great. I don't crave salt. I don't crave seaweed flavor. But I was eating like two of these packages at once, at one sitting, and coconut water. So I know I was going through something mineral. Um, I wonder if I could get them coconut water because it has some different vitamins in it. I don't know. Let me know, guys. Anyway, yes, this is it's season, of course. Um, Organic seaweed, organic sunflower oil, sea salt. They add sea salt to seaweed. sunflower oil should be good for them. Oh my gosh, it is raining so much. Anyway, I'll think on this, but I think it might be something mineral. I don't know. That or she ate a bug or has something else going on because other girls are doing good. Anyway, so she's doing okay. She's eating and drinking. I don't really know how much she's eating, but she did have some of the lentils and rice that I made. And she was liking the water that I had apple cider vinegar in. And apple cider vinegar just has, it's not like, hey, it's acidic. It's just a little bloop, and it basically has some electrolytes in it that can help anyway. So that's what I've been doing. I might give her a Epsom salt bath tonight though, just to round out all of the things that could be happening. It is pouring. Okay. So let's scroll up, see how people are doing. I hope you guys are all doing well. Bring this down a little bit. All right. Oh, I forgot my little mouse. Okay. All right. Verna's here. Verna's vase place with a little blue wrench. She's moderator. Steve is not here this week. He is other moderator. Welcome, Verna. If you are wanting to raise things in an apartment setting, Verna's channel's awesome. She does a live on Saturday mornings. Dawn's here was the first like. Welcome, Dawn. 6 minutes. It was wait, 6. You said that at 5:59. What? I was 3 minutes late, according to mine. All right. Dawn was doing research. Good. Verna had a birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Verna. Happy birthday to you this weekend. All right. Jennifer's here. Welcome, Jennifer. And Jennifer is a Katrina's kit. Awesome. Awesome. We don't have a date yet for our next meeting. But we'll be making something in June on a Sunday. That's not Father's Day. All right. And Jacob is also a Katrina's kit. And same thing. Welcome, guys. Jennifer says, good evening. Jacob says, hello, all. I will just be listening for a while. I'm working in the yard with the skid steer, making my new garden. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. I did go to a bake sale that I was involved in and did really well. And then I went to a plant sale put on by the high schoolers, and I'm like, I'm going to get extra plants because I haven't planted any seeds. I have plants in boxes still, or in their things in boxes, and for the garden, and it will get done at some point. Now that it's after Mother's Day, we should be free of frost. We'll see, and I can put them out. All right. Joy's here. Hey, everyone. Hey, Joy. We have not gotten lightning yet. I know lightning is a potential with the storm system here. We've just gotten some rain. Joy's north of me. Okay. Let's see. Seaweed has salt, and they added salt. Not good. Yeah, I know. So coconut water can be beneficial for them. That's good. It's hydrating and nutritious drink that would make great additions to a chicken's diet. That's from Verna. Yeah, so that's an idea. I don't think I have any. I have coconut milk in a can. That's not what I'm talking about. Oh, got it, Verna. Got it. Yeah, so anyway, she's doing okay. She was sitting in a little sunspot. So I've left her there. I'm like, okay, you soak up your vitamin D's. And yeah, she was in there. But I was glad to see that she was drinking the apple cider vinegar water when I had it. available for her, and it still is. I refilled that this morning as apple cider vinegar water. I think I'll continue to do that, at least until she's feeling better, and try and figure out what's going on with this feed, because I will see how long it takes with the lentils and rice added, how well they do and all of that, like how that might affect them. It's just interesting that only one of them is having issues, which is better than all of them having issues. She is my most productive though, so you know. um, and she is working on growing feathers. So she is, I mean, she's lost feathers and she's grown, she's growing feathers. So yeah. All right. Oh, Erica's here. Hi, Erica. Erica's also Katrina's kid. And she came up with what we're making in June on a Sunday, not on Father's Day. Lucas's birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday to Lucas. Does he get a doggy treat? Do you have a special doggy cake? Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought Don was talking to somebody else. Yeah. So the first Monday of every month now, I will be at a bee group. I joined the Southern Oregon Bee Association. I think it's what it's called. And they have a meeting the first Monday of every month, and it is an hour away. So the first Monday of every month, instead of Monday, we're going to do Thursdays at the same time. So sorry for the confusion. I've announced it in a couple of different things, but it'd be easy to miss if you just jumped on. Maybe, excuse me. Maybe I should do that every once in a while as I go through these, because I know people pop in and pop out. But yeah, first Monday of the month will be if Thursday. We're changing days. All right. Oh, you tried to come on when I wasn't here, huh? Oh man. Okay, Joy heard thunder this morning. We got rain. This morning's reading was 0.19 of an inch, so almost 2/10. It's rained. I don't know if it's raining the same or more or whatever. It's kind of rained in spurts here today. So, and now it's sunny and it's raining. You know, yeah. Yeah. Dawn says I'm in the garden until right about now every night until it's planted and done as well. But tonight is raining is why I could make it. There you go. Yeah, it's raining here too. I do a molasses. Okay. Yeah. Molasses can increase water consumption. Is that a bad thing? Just put a little bit in there. Yeah, liquid nutrients. Um, I don't know what's going on with her, but I might add a little bit of that. I think I have some. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. Verna's saying to make Lucas a doggy cake. Yep. Oh, decreasing feed conversion. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I'm on right after Chris on when the first Monday of the month is there, I'll be on after Chris on Thursday. Slightly red-decked. Summer's here. I won't be doing hardly any of them while I can be out doing things. I understand that. And I have been missing a lot of them because weekends, especially on weekends, I'm busy doing things. And like this Saturday, we were out there at 7:15 in the morning on a Saturday. I had to wake up early. I'm a night owl, guys. Remember that. And we set up and had a good time. So that's good for the bake sale. Yeah. Yeah. So Verna's also having a few spritz of rain I mean, it will rain and then not, and rain and not, and like I have 5 more rabbits to process from Penny. No, not Penny's litter. Risotto's old litter. Um, they're ready to process, and I was going to do that. Well, I was going to do it Sunday. It didn't happen Sunday. The other ones got processed, but yeah, didn't happen Sunday. But then I was going to do it today between work and now. That didn't happen, but we'll see. We'll see. Nest boxes go in at the end of the week, beginning of the week, I think, for Penne and Ravioli. And Ravioli, Penne's babies are down in the pasture, and Ravioli's babies are still with her. So I need to get them out. If I don't process the ones in here, like if it's raining again, then I will move them into a temporary location and put Ravioli's babies in that one. And that one is a 2x8. I do need to make a 2x4, a second one, because she has 10 babies. So in reality, I'd like to have 3 or 4 of those ones. But I am going to be making one more right now and seeing how things work. So right now, Penny's babies are in down there. Ravioli's babies are with her, and the other 2 mamas, Rigatoni and Risotto, their babies are still in the nest box. I think they're almost 3 weeks. They're close to 3 weeks. I don't remember which side of 3 weeks they're on. But yeah. Yep. All right. What do I hear? Hopefully it's not my computer. I don't know. Okay. Dawn's asking, do you separate rabbit urine from the poo? No. I'm not collecting the urine. It is going through into the earth and watering and nutrifying that area. Probably way too much nitrogen there in those places, but no. I don't feel the need to separate it. I think the only reason to separate it is if you for some reason don't want that much nitrogen in that location, or going into wood chips or whatever, or if you want to use it as a liquid nitrogen source for your plants. Yeah, it all drops down. So if you wanted to collect that separately, you could. I don't have a need for that. Yeah. So Jennifer says it's been raining here off and on all day, and it's raining now. Must have just got to you because it's not raining anymore here. Yeah. Dawn is asking, how do you keep the ground from being mud to step in? I don't want trays, but I also don't want to walk in it. Use a deep litter system. So, like my old property had with the chickens underneath, you don't have to have the chickens. You can just use a rake and a hard rake or a pitchfork and turn it into that. Or if you, that's what I hear. I forgot I was cooking rice in the Instapot, and I was hearing the steam. Gosh, it's been quite a day, guys. Oh. It just hit pressure. So, yes, so deep litter, or if you don't want to deal with that, you can put like a Rubbermaid tub with holes drilled in the bottom, and that will collect the poop and the urine will go through, or if you want to collect it separately. There we go. I sound like Verna? Oh, great. I don't have to get coffee, though. I probably have to fill up my water, though, because I was going to, and then I noticed I was 3 minutes late, or 2 minutes at that point. Yeah, the way you manage manure is going to be important. Mine is not to where I want, not location, but where idea where I want it yet. I want the chickens outside. And that could be one of the problems that we're having. Because the chickens, if you have them on deep litter and the rabbits are above, then they can churn that in, and then you have really, really great compost. What you could do as well is have a bin with holes drilled in the bottom so the liquid goes through, and empty that into a location someplace. And where that someplace is up to you. But if the pellets are dry, then they do really well. Like there's no attractant, but there's less attractant for like flies and things. But you're gonna have flies. The less wet you can keep it, the drier you can keep it, the better that situation will be. Yeah. Man, I wish I had seaweed that was not seasoned with sea salt. Sea salt isn't salty though, right? That sounds really silly, but it's the least saltiest of the salt, I think. 45 milligrams for one container. I don't know what's appropriate to give a chicken. Yeah, not salty to us, right? Right. So black soldier fly larva is another option, and the only thing with yeah, so the sodium level is pretty high in seaweed anyway. That's why I'm wondering why they added sea salt. Anyway, black soldier fly, BASF is what that stands for. Other way around. That is a larva that they're active, I think, above 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and you can raise them or you can let them come on their own, but they will not be active below those temperatures. Hi, Andy. Andy Rabbit says hello. And so black soldier fly larva is a really good solution to a lot of things. So they will deal with a lot more than mealworms will, or even earthworms. Earthworms will take that nutrients and put it in too. I mean, they have highways underneath the ground. They take nutrients from the top of the ground surface and into the ground. But then red wigglers also, but yeah, they will burrow into your waist to keep them warm. Exactly. Yeah. And so that's black soldier fly larvae. You can keep them. I want to have a colony that I can keep. Maybe I have to experiment with this. And if you guys have done this before, let me know. I think, hasn't Ed done this before? But I was thinking about putting, like, those plant heat mats. I was thinking about putting plant heat mats below and then putting whatever container the black soldier fly larvae are in on top of that. And that should keep them warm enough, hopefully not too warm. But yeah. Okay, so Andy says I'm fixing to order some black soldier fly larvae so I can get a jump on them a little faster. That's good. Yeah. Okay, let me scroll up. Homestead Matters is here. Howdy, folks. I hope everyone is doing well. Hello. Doing pretty good, except for Rexy's sick, so hopefully she is going to get better, hopefully. Rexy is a chicken. Yeah. Yeah, so Andy, doing the black soldier fly larva, I mean, I've wanted to do those and mealworms for a long time. I just haven't done it. It's been at a lower level on the list. But yeah, it's something that I've wanted to do, but the unique thing about the black soldier fly larva is that you can give them almost anything. You can give them meat, you can give them manure, so like everybody that has all these brooders and stuff that have a massive amount of poo, because birds are called fowl for a reason. They are really, really good at getting that waste turned into a usable product. So it can go through black soldier flies faster, like chicken poo or quail poo, that's a hot manure. It can go through the soldier flies much faster and become usable much faster as frass, which is bug poo, than um, if you're just going to compost it. So yeah. Oh, by the way, I can't really show you guys, but there's a cup on my floor turned upside down because a centipede, like that big, was crawling across the floor. And I was on the phone with someone when I was working, and I just went, and I forgot it was there. So there you go. Jennifer says, I've been raining worms for my garden. Raining or raising? Raising, probably. So when I put them in the garden, do you separate the worms from the castings? Okay, I do not. What kind of worms do you have? Do you have red wigglers or do you have earthworms? The first 2 times I did the red wigglers, and got all the castings out. Castings is the poop of the worms. They're little nutrient packets. And the first time I did that, I separated out every worm, every egg. Those eggs are so small. And I'm like, you're going to stay in there, and these are going to go in the garden. And so now when I do it, I get most of the worms, they stay in, and some of them could go live in the garden, and all the eggs can go live in the garden because I'm not picking them out, and it doesn't matter that they stay in there. There's enough in there that they will grow. They will make more. So yeah, you can get those in the garden and they will do just fine. And those will then nutrify your garden directly. So I think it's a fine idea. Andy says, last year I ordered some and put them under my rabbit cages and had a small bucket I had set up for them to lay eggs in. If a cage seemed not to have any under it anymore, I would scoop some out of the bucket and put under that cage. They took care of the poop all summer long. Do you have a picture of that? Can you put that on our Facebook group? Because that would be awesome to see and awesome to do. Yeah, let me put the link here for the Friends of Sow and Tare Facebook group. If you do have pictures and if you are willing to share, I would super appreciate seeing that. I think other people would too. If not, that is also fine. Yes, black soldier flies you can raise just like mealworms. Yep, except for they do have that temperature component that they have to be warmer. So Dawn, yeah. So Dawn's asking Andy, how do you get them to lay eggs in a bucket? Is there something in the bucket? She puts food in the bucket, like an egg layer. They laid eggs. Okay. Right. So black soldier flies also kill other types of flies. I didn't take any pictures, but you still have the bucket set up so you can take a picture. Awesome. That would be awesome. Is there any way to move eggs without touching them to your fingers? Oh. Yeah, you take a scoop and go scoop. Boom. You don't have to move just eggs. Just move a bunch of substrate too. Same thing with the worms. If you are starting a worm farm and you get worms from someone, ask them to just do a scoop, like get some of their substrate too, because that is the most difficult part of starting a worm farm, is getting that moisture right and getting that initial situation, the initial habitat in there right. Yeah. So Andy says, for the eggy, I made a stack of thin wood and hung it over the bucket. I would love to see pictures of this. And you're going to have to set it up again anyway, right? Because you ordered them. Something I want to advise against, and this is advice based on experience and also extrapolation. When you have a fly issue, my advice is to not put up the stinky traps. Other people can advise different things. That's just my advice. You read up on that and you figure out that flies are attracted from a half mile away. So the more you have it up, the more flies you're attracting. And yeah, the more flies you're killing, but the more like it's just going to keep on coming. So someone else can say something else. And if you do, please justify it somehow. But that's, yeah. Once I put those up, more and more and more and more and more came. Yeah. So sticky is good. The yellow sticky is good. Just make sure you have it fully up so your animals don't get into it. Yeah, Andy says I never touched the eggs, so they did their thing. Jennifer says, can you put worms on and worms and the castings in the hole before you plant veggie plants? Yep. You can do that with that and mycorrhizae if you have the bagged mycorrhizae that you can buy. And rabbit poo, you can do that with goat poo, any of the cold manures. So that's rabbit, goat. I heard ducks and geese. Llama, alpaca, those guys. Yeah. And Verna agrees with me on the fly traps. Yeah, I would not put attractants up because that's just going to make your life miserable. Yeah, I had a neighbor that put up traps. So I tried to explain this to her and she was complaining. And I'm like, you're the one putting up attractants. Yes, I understand my animals attract some, but yeah. So yeah, Jennifer, the worms will be fine. If you bury your worms alive, they will be able to get out if that's what you're concerned with. And they're fine with being in the ground. Dawn says I garden all weekend and have lots of worms naturally. I have so many worms here. It's crazy. Sticky traps catches black soldier fly also. That is true. It's going to catch anything no matter what it is. So yeah, if you can do without, do without. But the main things. Yes, Andy says put the sticky traps up where your hair won't get stuck on it also. Don't ask how I know that one. Yeah. Yeah, Dawn says I used attractants about 20 years ago and learned better. So I hope I mean, they make a lot of money on it because those traps do work. They work. If your goal is to trap flies, they do work. But they're going to bring in more. Like if they had just a buffered area, they're like, I just want the flies in this 10 square feet or whatever, then that would be great. But they don't. It's a super strong, they have sniffers on them. So my advice. I hope my neighbors don't put them up. I have neighbors, well within a half mile. I don't know. Maybe they can put it up. I'll go over there. Yeah. Dawn says, I had a cat once that jumped up to catch a fly, batted a sticky trap, ran off with the trap wrapping around his body while I was chasing it. Whole trap was around its body, hard to pull off and wash. I think I've heard that story before, Dawn, from you. Yeah. Yeah. So be cautious of that and do not rely on the stickiness of the sticky trap to stick it to something. Like make sure it's fully there. And yeah, things like squirrels and cats and all sorts of stuff can get into those. So just use them cautiously or don't use them at all. In my experience, our spring soap does not work. I think maybe it works if you're, doing it several times a day, scrubbing it on stuff, but maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Vanilla scented car fresheners. I kind of think had like a very slight effect, but not a big effect. So I did my own experiments, and yeah, that was the only thing that was like, well, maybe, but not really. So I think it's just a moneymaker for people to have all these things. Yeah. Andy says with them traps, you have to pull them away from where you don't want flies to be, like way out by the fence line, away from your house. Exactly. Yeah, and so maybe so what you're saying is I should put them way up on the hill. Of course, a fly trap might also attract a bear, which can then eat the flies. Um, it's not a real thing. Maybe it is, but yeah. Um, yeah, so that is true. But that's not, honestly, it's not what it says on the packaging. What it says in packaging is to put it, I think, 4 feet, 4.5 feet or something high in the area that you see flies. Yeah. Yep. Don says it was a nightmare. I could have gotten it off easily if the cat would have stood still. Well, that's not happening. I don't use anything ever since. Pine shavings is all you need. There you go. There you go. Andy says last year I ordered black soldier flies larva, and last year I didn't have a huge problem with flies like in years past. Um, Thank you, Javerna. Yeah, so I actually had the first year. The first year I had flies show up, they were black. They were mainly black soldier flies, and my neighbor didn't like that. And it's like they're not doing anything bad, and they weren't like in mass. And then she put up traps, and I tried to put up traps because I didn't know any better at the time. And yeah, when you do that, you kill your beneficial insects along with your non-beneficial, and that's not good. So, but yeah, black soldier flies are good. They do a really good job of taking care of the manure and all of that, and yeah, they do a good job. So I don't know where do you buy them? Do you buy them online, Andy? Because we're not quite getting up to 60. Well, not quite getting up to 70 these days, except for a couple days. So we're not there yet. I do expect to have hopefully one more breeding in for this breeding year for rigatoni and for risotto. And then that will be the last breeding of the year because they'll be pregnant in June, and then yeah. So that will be last breeding of the year, and then it'll pick up again probably in October, maybe September, but probably in October. So in the summertime, the male will go temporarily sterile. Rabbits we're talking now, not soldier flies. And when they go temporarily sterile, they will not produce young. So it doesn't matter if you try and breed them, and if they breed, it's not gonna, shoot in blanks. So yeah. Oh, Amazon, huh? Nice part about black soda flies, you rarely see an adult. You do see them flying around, but they're not like the other kind of flies. Yeah, and they do prey on the larva of the other, manure flies, house flies, whatever you want to call them. So they are a predator of them too. So which is cool. Dawn says I have to wait for rabbits and get black soldier flies. It'll be fall. Too late for black soldier flies this year. Yeah, and so that would be another option, is to have some sort of system that you put that the manure falls into something that rolls all the poo into a black soldier fly colony that is heated. Like there's options. You just have to figure out how to do them. Right. So Verna's saying, Dawn, you need them for quail poo, not really rabbit poo, and then that's they can do for any of them. They will eat any of it. So if you're trying to get rid of poo, then that's fine. Um, and if you're trying to keep the least flies that are not black soldier flies out of there, then doing it for any of those is good. Um, I think what Vern is saying is that for the rabbit poo, you can put that directly in your garden, and it doesn't have to go through the process of going through the black soldier flies and becoming frass before you put it on your garden or being composted, because chicken and quail poo does have to go through a process before you put it in your garden. I think that's what you're saying, Verna. Let me know if I'm wrong. Um, but they definitely will munch. Yeah. Yeah, so Dawn's saying my quail poo isn't enough to worry about yet. Plus, it is mixed with pine shavings, but I have a way to go to raise enough quail yet. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, you're beginning right now. Yeah, or you're re-beginning. Okay, good, Verna. I thought I was explaining that correctly. Dawn says I was going to mix the rabbit and quail poo and use it as compost, or do you just let them be without composting? No, that'd be fine. That'd be good. So the good thing about composting multiple things together, like multiple manures and multiple ingredients, is that you get a more biodynamic compost, and it'll add more, it'll bring more to the system, and the more diversity you have, the more likely you are to get a the more diversity you have in a compost, the more likely you are to get a really good compost that can be healthier. Like they're going to have more components for your plants. So just like we were just talking about earlier with what do we give Rexy the chicken that we're not quite sure what's going on, but it could be some nutritional thing, or it could not be, or it could be, what can we try? Well, if we give her, don't overload her on too much nutrition, but if we give her a little of this and a little of that, then that's a better choice than nothing at all or all of one thing. So yeah. Andy says I had to teach the hubby what the larva is so he would leave it alone. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I mean I had a neighbor in my old place that planted safflower, and none of them ever came up. Well, she was weeding in the safflower area, but she didn't know what the little ones looked like, and so she thought she was weeding weeds. What she was weeding was the plants that she that she had planted, the seeds that she had planted. So, yeah, you have to know what the babies look like before you can deal with it, right? Dawn says if it were me with the chicken issue, the first thing I would do is feed her. Oh, yeah, I can't say that word on YouTube. Um, Yeah, I don't have access to that right now. I also have not researched it enough to fully do anything with that, but that is one of the things that YouTube doesn't allow us to talk about, unfortunately. Um, okay, Verna put Black Soldier Fly larva live. So there's a link there. Okay. I will trust that it is a good link. Because I don't have my YouTube open. I'm on StreamYard and I can't click on links on here. It's kind of silly. They should have it so you can click on the links on StreamYard. Anyway, yeah, my computer was, I don't know, it was acting up. I have an external hard drive, another one that I was going to put everything on, but Amazon link. Okay, cool. Thanks, Berna. But it was just taking forever to read it. And I know it's an almost full disk. And I know my computer is pretty full. And I think that might be what's going on. Is the memory issue. I hope it's just that. So I just need to probably back up some things from the computer to hard drives just so I have room in the memory bank of the computer. Because it opens up fine for everything else. And as you guys may or may not have noticed, the thumbnail for today's video is, you know, has a little box on over it in black. And that's because I know I have it in an email. My logo is in an email, you know, like as a file. And I thought I had it saved on the desktop, but it's not. It's saved on these external drives, and I couldn't get to it. So I'm like, well, I'm just gonna use one from a couple weeks ago and plop a new date over it. So yeah. Um, anyway, there you go. So yeah, black soldier fly larva is pretty cool. I've not grown them, but I do want to. I mean, I've been saying that for a few years, right? The worms are doing fine. I've gotten into them just a couple times since I've been here, a few times since I've been here, honestly. And they're completely fine. When I first got my worms, it took a long time to get their environment right, which is why it's so good to have um like have someone scoop something out of theirs that has all of the bacteria and the little buggies and everything else that's in it in there. And yeah, that it's an interesting thing. Um, once you get all that biology stuff going, then it's good. But I was thinking, oh, I need to feed them every so often. You know, I need to feed them because I don't want to come back from vacation and have them starve. And one of my neighbors was nice enough, one of my old neighbors was nice enough to feed them when I was gone. And totally don't need to. Totally don't need to. There's enough in that substrate to keep them alive for a while once it's established. Once I figure that out, I'm like, oh, okay. Well, you can still feed them if you want, but yeah, but that is where a lot of stuff can go. And I've had less attention on it since I've had, you know, the chickens and stuff because I had the worms first. I mean, officially my worms were my first homestead animals. My herd of worms. What do you call a bunch of worms? Is there a name? Um, and you know, I would garden and I'd have them in there and all that. And so they were my first ones, and so they used to get everything. Then the chickens and the quail got more stuff, and so it's like, oh, what else do we have here? Yeah. Dawn says, "Oh, they are cheap enough." Just gives me the chills looking at them. I don't like bugs. Well, they're not bugs yet when they're larvae. I mean, they are, but they don't have legs. Yeah. Um. Okay. Cool. Anyway, so that is that. Has anybody had an actual they're hairy, but they don't have legs. That means they're cute, right? They're fuzzy. Aren't they fuzzy and cute? You don't like maggots? That's okay. It's okay. Um, I mean that's fine. Anyway, I don't remember where I was going with that. Oh, so Andy has raised them in place, is what I'm going to call it. Has anybody raised them in a container? Black soldier fly larvae or mealworms for that matter. Um, because I think that's the way I would have to go. I would probably have it both ways. One in place, like underneath the rabbits or something, and then two would be like for brooders and putting things into. Um, and that would be like a heated something. It'd be interesting. I don't know. Would you keep it inside with the chickens? Have a tube where if they go out, they can go out and feed the chickens? Little treat. Ideas, guys. Okay. Jennifer says, I believe a herd of worms is called a clue. CLEU. Okay. A clue. A clue of worms. Interesting. I did not know that. Thank you, Jennifer. Dawn says, I need to see if I can get some and set something up with quail poo and pine shavings, if it will work with shavings for summer here. How much would I need for 500 larvae? I mean, if there's not enough food for them, they're just not going to be there. So I think it's more the other direction the question needs to be asked. And I think with how much stuff you have set up, start with whatever number and go from there, because you don't have a whole lot of stuff set up yet. But yeah. Dawn says eventually I might have 3 trays 2 times a week. How big is a tray? Yeah, Dawn, you could start harvesting them and selling them online. Okay, Homestead Matters says I have a bin I fashioned but haven't set up yet. Last year, the black soldier fly larva just appeared, and good Lord, did they make a difference? Yes, they do. They do. Okay, oil pan manure tray. Got it. Got it. Just appeared in the compost. Yeah, mine just appeared one time too, and they just, I was like, that's a weird looking fly, and I had a familiarity with it because I had learned about them, I think in school, but I didn't know what it was. I had to look it up. I was like, that looks familiar as something that I know. What is it? Yeah. Okay, Dawn says at most I will have 3 shades, changing them twice a week. Okay. All right. And Andy has a link. Cool. Andy, feel free to share that on the Friends of Sow and Tare as well. Yeah. I thought they were mutant ladybug babies, Simpson medicines. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is funny. That is funny. So ladybug babies, ladybug larvae, do not look like ladybugs at all. There's no way someone would be like, huh, you're going to grow up into that. What? What? How do you go into a little thing and then come out as a ladybug? Like, totally different. Anyway, I always think that's really interesting how they just like, I am this form, and then I'm going to become goo and rearrange my parts and become this form. Like, how does that work? How does this work? Yeah. Don says, I plan to keep quail down low, mainly for eggs for me with some meat. Rabbits, I plan to do more of or more of something. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Nature does find a way. Yeah, my plan with the quail is going to be flexible because I want to have them in a high tunnel, which I do not have yet. More rabbits over quail this time. Okay, good. Good. And Joy has mealworms. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. I forgot what I was saying. I don't remember what I was saying. It's okay. Someone remind me. Tell us more, Joy. You have mealworms. So mealworms you can feed almost everything, right? Can you feed them manure though? And meat? I think I've seen videos of people doing that. But I've also heard that they don't. So I don't know what to believe because I've never had them. I mean, I know like some of the ones that are treats that you can buy in the store that are from like China and stuff. They can be fed like basically sludge from the water treatment place, and that's why you're not supposed to buy those ones. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what track I was on, guys, earlier. I lost it. I don't know. I'm also tired. Well, I was mostly going to talk about Rexy stuff. We had kind of already covered that, but I think a good topic for today was the black soldier fly larva, because we haven't actually talked about them in a while. Oh, got it. Thank you. My brain just went blank, Dawn. Okay, thank you for the reminder, Dawn. So yeah, my plan for the high tunnel is flexible. So I know where it's going to be. I know what I'm going to do with it. And I want to have quail in the high tunnel. And I've had a few renditions of this in my head that I'm not sure exactly how I want to do. Um, so I could build an aviary inside the high tunnel, um, so as not to totally nitrogenate. It's not a word, but it is now. The like a particular like that whole area. But knowing that there's earthworms and I can add more earthworms, right? I can like encourage that growth. Um, those earthworms can also take stuff from that area and move it throughout the world, but throughout the high tunnel. So I could have an aviary built inside of that, and have the rest of it be. I want to have some trees, some trees and some plants that are on the edge of my zone. So like curry leaf tree would need winter protection here. Um, Probably carabella, that's the star fruit, would need winter protection here. And I'm not only talking about protection like I don't plan on heating it. It may change, but I don't currently plan on that. Um, but it would have things like that. And so I could just have them running throughout everywhere, or I could have an area inside, somewhere there. I know, I'm sorry, Verna. Yeah. So that's my thought there. So it's adjustable. The other thing I was thinking about is, for grow out females, just having them with the same population, or having it as like a separate area within the high tunnel. And then the grow out males, I am going to put in the food forest once it's there. I will have a aviary that is probably shade cloth darkened, so they don't make as much noise. And hopefully they'll be far enough apart that they'll be quiet. Hopefully. Yeah. Thank you for getting me back on track, John. Rena says to keep mealworms alive, provide them with a mixture of dry food and for subsistence and moisture-rich options like vegetables or fruits. A good base for mealworm bedding and food includes wheat bran, oatmeal, or cornmeal. Regularly add fresh, moist vegetables like potatoes or carrots, or fruits like apples to ensure they have access to hydration. Yeah, carrots and wheat bran is the most popular thing. Of when I was doing some internet research, those were the two most popular, um, things to keep them going. So yeah, goodness. Um, yeah. So I think that works. What kind of bug is white and looks like a grain of rice? White and looks like a grain of rice? Yeah, lice. Lice would be a good answer, Verna. Verna's had the answer. Um, Probably several. for larvae. How big? Joy says, I don't know about other people. Mine are in a tub in the house. Okay. Hopefully not the bathtub. Okay, yeah, maggots is a good answer. Fly maggots too. Yep. Yeah, that's a good answer. Yeah, so Andy, is it a larva or is it like does it have legs? Um, and how big? There are a lot of blip, blip, blip. There are a lot of larvae that look very similar as well. Um, and then you have the insect eggs that can be in multiple different forms in multiple different places as well. White and looks like a grain of rice. Yeah, we need more information, Andy. Okay, so who has already planted the garden? I know Dawn has. I planted my trees and stuff that I got for the food forest. They're in a giant trench, not giant, a good sized trench, um, as a temporary home until the fall or winter when they'll be dug up and hopefully moved into the food forest. Hopefully, we'll be ready for them by then. Yeah, it's on your plants. You've never seen them before. Do they have legs or are they larvae? Um, Whitefly? Or no, you know what aphids look like. I know that. They're the size of a grain of rice too. They're not eggs, or they are eggs, because there are a lot of eggs that look rice shaped. Um, a lot of butterfly eggs you'll see also on the bottom of leaves too. So where is it? Are they moving around? Is it on the bottom top of a leaf? Do they have legs? Is the most important question. Yeah, so whiteflies I thought might look like that. Too tiny for you to know if they have legs. Well, get out there with your no. It might be whitefly. I don't know about your area. People in her area. Is it too early for whitefly? Because whitefly I thought was usually a little later. I don't know though. Britta planted nasturtiums. Awesome. I might be planting nasturtiums. I have seeds. I kind of think I should wait until next year because I really want to put them in the food forest. Yeah. And I'm waiting for next year for a lot of things, I think, unfortunately. But yeah. Oh, cabbage moth eggs. That's why I'm asking if they have legs. Are they on the underside or above? And is there a pattern to them? Because oftentimes, if they're eggs, they will have a pattern to them. Yeah. Verna's going to plant borage tomorrow. Awesome. Awesome. I got at the plant sale at the high school, I got some tomato plants, some zucchini plants. I plan on making pineapple with the zucchini. So if you want to make pineapple with zucchini with me or for a video by me, I will be doing that this summer. And I plan on doing a bunch because I think I'm out of what I had a couple of years ago. And I really, really, really enjoy it. I like doing shredded. So I can do shredded and then I'm also going to do cubed. If you do shredded, um, I'm going to try and remember this, not to put the solids all the way up to the line, to leave some room for it to expand because they will expand over time. And it's good to have the liquid go all the way over the food the entire time. Just it makes for a better product. Even if the liquid is over it at the time of canning. So if you're going to want to grow pineapple without pineapple being what you're growing, you grow zucchini, and you're going to need pineapple juice. So pick it up if it's on sale. Sugar and lemon juice. I have tried it with, I don't know if I tried it without sugar or low sugar, but you definitely need the sugar. Like it just, sorry, you have to. You don't really have to, I don't think, but you don't have to safety wise, but flavor wise, it's just not the same if you don't use the sugar. So that's an unfortunate truth. Oh, Joy says sterilite tub. I was joking about the bathtub, Joy. Sterilite tub. Homestead says, I traded some strawberry starts for comfrey, and the comfrey all took. Woo-hoo. I want to try pineapple zucchini so badly. Sounds amazing. It is. It is. And if you have a KitchenAid that has the shredder attachment, then you don't have to shred it. You just cut it and go, and it's so much faster and easier. Yeah, KitchenAid is a good investment, especially since you have all the attachments. And if you find one in a thrift store or something, grab it because they all have, from the very beginning, the same exact attachment. So you can get old attachments or the old unit, and it will all work together, which is amazing that they actually keep it the same. No Apple products there. Joy says, I would not feed them meat because of the smell. So is it the smell of them digesting it, or is it the smell of the meat being in there for like too long? Does it change the actual smell of the animals or the result of that? Or is it the meat itself? Just asking. Dawn says, I am losing the heritage red raspberry bush, uppy blue grass into the base, up the stem, 6 inches deep, and I didn't see it. Wet grass, it caused it to lose leaves, and I read it gets a disease. Well, it might not. I mean, it could, but also if the roots established enough, it could come back from the roots too. So depending on its situation. Yeah. So good luck. Verna says, or if you don't have a KitchenAid, then you can still get a salad shredder, a salad shooter. I have not used a salad shooter, so that could be true. Yeah. And Verna says, mealworms are mostly for grain. Reason you have them in your flour. I've never had them in my flour. I have had the red flour beetles in my flour, and I have had what are those moths? Red Indian moths, I think. Those came in I think flour, and then those were the least annoying ones. They're still annoying, but they're at least annoying because they're bigger at least. With the red flour beetles, I finally figured out where they came in, and they came in a, you know how oatmeal is sold in the cardboard tubes? It was one of those unopened, and I picked it up. I searched everything else because I knew that was unopened. I didn't even pick it up. All the cabinets, all everything, and I took it out. I picked it up, and the bottom fell out, and they were in there. So, yeah, put stuff in glass, put stuff in plastic, put stuff in stuff, or freeze it first. But having things in glass containers with a hermetic seal is a good idea. Yeah. Does everybody know what a hermetic seal is? Because I just realized that was a big word. If you don't, I will show you what it is. Maybe I should show you anyway. What do you guys think? Because I know some people are not watching this yet. Okay. Andy says the best way I can type is they look like white rice in the pattern of a line of ants up the stalk of the plant. That sounds like a like show us. I will. That sounds like they're eggs. So it's the egg of something. So the thing that I would look up is whatever the pest animals are. Look up their eggs. So cabbage butterfly. Also, what are they on? But cabbage butterfly, look up that, and if it's that, squish them. Um, Cucumber beetle. Um, I don't know what their eggs look like, but if it looks like them, squish them. I don't know what other pests you might have there. Tomato hornworm, look up those eggs. Because not all of the eggs are bad. They could be good eggs. You could have good grains of rice. All right, I'm going to show you a hermetic seal jar. Okay. Too dark to get a picture tonight. Well, there you go. Okay, so you guys have probably all seen these kinds of jars. It's a little locking lid, a little rubber gasket. You have a flash on your camera, Verna, always the problem solver. I love it. Okay, it's the meat itself that smells. That's good information, Joy. Thank you, Verna. You're funny, and she's right, Andy. All right, so this is a hermetic jar, hermetically sealed jar. Mealy bugs are white. Buster says. Buster says hi. I'm just saying that because you didn't say it all yet. But hi, Buster. Welcome. Um, but this is a hermetically sealed jar. So it has some pressure, and the pressure goes into the gasket here. And basically what that is there's no air getting in or out. There's air in there. It's not like a vacuum seal. There is air in here. And these nuts will, eventually go bad if I leave them in here. But I'm eating them. But no air is going in or out. And unless, hey to all, Buster says, see, I just told you guys he said hey. Unless this gasket gets like cracked. So these do dry out and get cracked. So, and they're replaceable. So you can take them off, and then this won't work. It'll just sit on there. Okay. And these gaskets are replaceable, and most of these jars are standard sizes. I don't know what the sizes are called, but they're standard. And then you can just put this back on, which takes 2 hands. And there you go. And you close it again. Now, when you have these jars and you have them closed appropriately and your gasket is a good gasket, you're not going to have bugs get in here. So, like I was talking about the red flower beetles and the red Indian moths that I have had experiences with. If you put all your stuff into glass jars that are sealed like this, then they don't have to be glass. They can be plastic as well, but I prefer the glass. Then you're not likely to spread it. So you could still have stuff in here. It's just not going to spread into your whole entire life, which is what happens. Not just your kitchen, your whole life. So that's why I recommend. And tip, if you can get the square ones like these, so like that will take up the same amount of space on your shelf as a round one, but it'll have more capacity, no more storage capacity. So you can put these right next to each other, right? And whereas it's round, then you miss out on some volume. So my recommendation is if you can get the glass jars. Ross has been a good place for me to find these. I don't go after them like I used to. I used to just go after them like I see a bunch, I get a bunch. I have quite a few now. I wish I had more of certain sizes now, but they are expensive. So go ahead and, you know, go to Ross or go to, where else do you guys get them? That's, something on sale. Yeah. All right. And Andy says, I have some of those jars. I didn't know them as the name you're calling them. Yep. If you look up hermetically sealed, that's what comes up. And Dawn says, I have them, but round. Yeah, they are hard. The square ones are harder to find. And cheaper ones are harder to find. Estate sales, absolutely. Flea markets, absolutely. Flea markets, garage sales, yep. TJ Maxx a few months ago, Andy says, I kind of equate TJ Maxx in with Ross. Like, it's that kind of I don't know what to call them. Aren't they somewhat similar? I don't know if they're similar or not. I don't like to go shopping, guys. Unless it's, a nursery or a hardware store. Those are my fun stores. Yeah. Craft stores sometimes, but those are getting few and far between. Few and far between. Yeah. They're all owned by the same company. That's why they have the same vibe. All right. Okay. Oh, TJ Maxx and Target about the same. I think of Target as being closer to like Walmart, but not quite at that same big level. I don't know. Okay. Well, having these jars is good, and live from my experience, learn from my experience. If you're getting anything in a cardboard container like oats, either freeze it, and sometimes you have to put it through 2 winters in your fridge to kill everything. Or just put it in a jar, put it in a glass jar, put them in, put it in something that they're not going to be able to get out of. Because if you have red flower beetles or red Indian moths hatch in your kitchen, they will very quickly find the rest of your house. And they do actually have the hormone attractant sticky traps for both those species. In fact, I think it's on the same trap, and they do work. But you're always going to have them. Like, it's just going to take it's going to take so long for them to be gone that it's going to be so much trouble. So just start with these containers. It's one of those things, like, make the investment is kind of that's where I am with them, because I have dealt with them, and it is a tremendous amount of time that is really for nothing because they're still there, and then you still have to deal with them until everything is in a glass jar. You can clean the same area 10 times, and there will be, in the other room, in the carpet, or in the other room, in some clothes or something. Yeah. And red flower beetles are something that actually come into the house in the spring too, at least where I was. You see them outside on flowers and stuff, so they can come in and infest from outdoors. But I think most infestations come from the store. All right. Andy says, when I saw them at TJ Maxx, I put back what I was getting for the grandkids. I wanted them to say ball mason on them for one I bought something for me. There you go. Andy says T Max and Ross are a lot alike, if not the same. That's what I think. Yeah. Good night, Dawn. Thank you for coming. Yes, so they get into the crevices of everything, and they can work their way up. The red flower beetles can work their way up a screw top jar. They can work their way in. They're that small. Yeah, I found that out too. So that is definitely a warning worth. I have lived this experience, so you don't have to. Let's just say that. Yeah, let's leave it at that. Exactly. My grandma's house got them, and we thought I cleaned them, but I thought I had cleaned out everything and all that. Well, I didn't do anything with the spices. I went to use the paprika. The spice jar is this big, and there was that much of not paprika. The red flower beetles had gotten in there, and apparently they love paprika. Um, it was nasty. I was about to use it. I'm like, nope, not today. Yeah. So bugs, I guess, is the discussion today. Uh, yeah. So that's why I'm saying like screw top lids, fine for some things, but if you get these little bugs in your house, they will travel right up the edges of that and get in there. Um, yeah. So don't do it. Um, yeah. So I haven't planted my garden yet, my regular garden. Um, I have stuff sitting out in the rain right now. Well, it's not raining right now. It was raining. Getting watered. And I did actually buy 2 Meyer lemons from Lowe's and two, I forget what kind, olives from Lowe's that are supposedly supposed to be okay in my zone. Now, I don't see a lot of citrus around, so I am a little bit hesitant on the Meyer lemons, but willing to try. And the olives are a type of olive I haven't heard of before. I don't remember what it is. I think it starts with A. The name's about that long. and that is it'll be an interesting experiment. So I wasn't planning on having olives because olives is, I mean, they're good, but it takes a long time to make olives. But then I realized, going back to that video that I did on fats and vitamin C. Well, vitamin C, I have access to as much vitamin C as I want here. I mean, the Douglas fir, the tips of the needles and stuff, you can use that. That's a vitamin C. Rose hips, vitamin C. There's no shortage of vitamin C, just not what people usually think of. But the fats, so far, plant-wise, not talking about the animals, but plant-wise, the fats are in the nuts, and that's pretty much it. So if I have olives, I have the potential of getting the oil out of the olives. Now, whether I make olive oil or I do that in some other way, I don't know yet. It's going to be a while. The trees are only this big. But that is something I am somewhat interested in. I also understand it takes quite a few olives to make 1 bottle of olive oil. Um, Avocado is another good oil. So olive oil is a fruit oil. So you actually get the oil from the fruit, not the seed. And same thing with avocado. Avocado oil is from the fruit, not the pit. And so if I were to get, there are some avocados that should be able to grow here. And if I get that going, I could use it for avocados, but then also for oil. So that is in my future, but not this year, next year, not the year after that, is my guess. Okay, Verna says, unless you get screw top lids that have rubber seals. Exactly. See, we're making things work. You still may have them in that protected area though. Andy says, I have gotten my cherry trees planted and the blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, and the rhodia berry planted. I have killed my pink lemonade blueberry plants. You know what, Andy? I did that too at my old place. They weren't as strong of plants. I don't know if it was the variety or if something happened or whatever. So I'm sympathetic. And Verna says, good job, Andy. Sad about the one you lost. Yep. Ooh. Joy says, it took me forever to get rid of grain mites in my mealworms. Ooh. Yeah. There's mites, and then isn't there a mite that goes in sugar too? Yeah. Andy says, oh, I planted the fig trees too. Awesome. What kind of figs did you have? Did you have Chicago Hardy and something else? I don't remember what you had. I know you told me at one point. Yeah. So, Joy, what did you do for the grain mites? Is there a attractant for that? Like a sticky trap pheromone attractant, or is it pretty much just squish them when you see them? Andy says, I killed my pink lemonade berry 3 days after I got them. I watered them as they said. So maybe you didn't kill them. Maybe they were already sick. I don't know what to tell you. I just know mine did not survive. That's something to recognize is, I mean, not every plant you plant is going to be successful. And don't take that as a step backward. Take that as either I did something wrong or the plant wasn't supposed to live here. Also, genetics play a role. So if a plant is, you might plant two of the same thing, and this one over here thrives and this one over here just it sucks. Well, it could just be genetics. So there you go. Brenda says, if you open your sack of flour and see cobweb type stuff in the bag, get that bag out of your house right away. Good to know. I've never had that experience. Yeah, try another pink lemonade blueberry. And also it could be location. If maybe there was something in the soil there before that interacts with it or something. I don't know. It's worth another try. Sometimes it's the year, the conditions when you plant it, and sometimes it's just like not meant to be. So, yeah. They do like acidic soil, blueberries do. So if you don't have acidic enough soil, you can put pine needles down and that will break down. You can use coffee grounds to make it more acidic. You just lay it on top, away from the center, but right there. And then shade mix, I think is what they call it now. It used to be called azalea mix, but it's called shade mix. It's a potting soil now, or a soil that you can buy. And I think they switched it over to be calling shade mix now. But that would give them a boost of acidity, whatever we are saying. Yeah. But the pine needles breaking down work pretty good. Okay, Andy says Baker Creek said it could have been shipping or my water. They turned brown before I got them in the ground 3 days after I received them. Okay. Yeah, and if they're willing to replace them or if you're willing to buy them again, go ahead and do that. Baker Creek is a good company. So, yeah. Uh-oh, Verna says, guess what I have found on my block? I'm going to guess saffron. Am I right? Didn't you plant a bunch of saffron? I still need to order saffron. I saw that, so I got a, is that the first one? It might be the first one. I got a nursery catalog the other day in the mail from Territorial Seeds. They are local in Oregon, and actually they're actually fairly local. They're like, I think they're less than 2 hours away. And I was looking at it. I was like, oh, they have saffron. I looked at it. It was about $1 a bulb. So that is a good place. It's a good company. I've never bought saffron from them, but I am going to see what Dutch Grown has because that's what I had earlier. That's where I got them from, is Dutch Grown. And I don't know how much they are there now, but yeah. And I plan on getting, a bunch. Okay, wild lettuce, curly dock, and dead nettle. Awesome. I think curly dock. It's some sort of dock. I actually think I have 2 different kinds of dock. And I have dead nettle. I don't have wild lettuce here, but that's okay. You think the ice killed your saffron? It should be good down to, I don't know what zone. I guess it is Mediterranean. Hmm. Okay, Andy said they would replace them. I said they could, if they didn't think it was my fault, I could rebuy them if my fault. Yeah, yeah, cool. Yeah, Baker Creek is good. And they are not doing the Heirloom Expo this year in Ventura County or California. I mean, it used to be up in Santa Rosa. And um, it's an economic thing. And so I'm not going to be going there. I'm thinking about not going anywhere. I have spent too much time off from work and spent too much money this year. So I might be skipping events this year. Um, yeah. Homestead says, I just infused some sunflower oil with dead nettle and lavender to try a salve. Awesome. Awesome. Does sunflower oil solidify? I know it will, but like under what conditions? Like, are you refrigerating it or does it solidify at room temperature? I don't know much about sunflower oil. But sunflowers is another source of oil too. So if you wanted to add oil stuff, sunflower oil, and there are black oil sunflower seeds that you can plant that are specifically used for sunflower oil. So you can get sunflower oil from any sunflower, but there are particular varieties that are bred for that purpose, which have a higher, better oil content. Brett says, I think when things get a little calmer, I will be making plantain salve. Awesome. I told people at this B group about plantain, and I couldn't think of the word. I couldn't think of the name. But I grabbed some when I was we went and did a hive check, and I grabbed some, like, this is what it is. And then I've seen at least two types here. There's like a narrow leaf one, and then there's a larger round leaf one. I know there's multiple kinds. So I just call it plantain because there's different kinds. And actually I have some video that I was going to put in the weekly review that has plantain, but I didn't. And probably won't happen tomorrow either. So I don't know if there's going to be a video tomorrow. Watch something older. Rewatch a video. Oh, goodness. Okay, Homestead says, like olive oil, liquid at room temperature, and then gets harder when cold, congeals when cold. Okay, so the salve so how does it become a salve then? You have it as a refrigerator salve? Don't salves, my brain, when you say salve, thinks of like that solid uh, thing that you can just go like that with your finger and put it on or whatever. Am I wrong? Is that not the definition? Berna says I have broadleaf and ribbon. Okay. Narrow and broadleaf type. Yeah, I just don't know how many different types there are. I know what it is. I know what I can use it for. I just don't know what the options are here as far as specific types. Add beeswax after oil is infused. Got it. Got it. Good. And coconut oil is used for salves too. Yep. Got it. Thank you. Joy says, I picked all the worms, beetles, and larvae out by hand, tossed the substrate away frequently using several tubs, squishing a lot, helped as well. Vaseline around the inside of the walls of tubs, then wipe? Whip? Wait, what did you make? Joy, I'm confused. Oh, wiping with paper towels directly out of the trash bin. Oh, we're talking about the grain things. When you said worms, I thought we were back to red wigglers. Okay, let me read this again now that I know what you're talking about. She's talking about the pests in the flour, or in the wheat germ, in the something. Okay, picked all the worms, beetles, and larvae out by hand, tossed the substrate away frequently. using several tubs. Squishing a lot helped as well. Vaseline around the inside of the walls and tubs, then wiping with paper towels, taking directly out to the trash bin. So, is the Vaseline to make sure they can't crawl out? Like they can't fly? They just crawl? So is that like a line that they can't get past? Because that's a smart thing to do. Thank you, Andy. Yeah. That is actually a really smart thing to do with Vaseline, if that's what it is it's a barrier. Man. Yeah, no, it sucks when you get an insect pest like that because it's not like you just have one. Like it's a colony. Like they come in colony level uh sizes. Yeah. Um yeah. So I know when I had the red flower beetles, I wanted to freeze most of what I found. Doesn't matter if it went into the trash or not. I'm like, freeze it and then put it in the trash. And there was interesting things in my freezer for a while. Yeah. Um, man, that sucks. And I have sympathy for you, Joy, because I've been through that with kitchen before. And it's like I said, it does. I don't keep the nicest housekeeper house ever, but you know, when something comes out of an unopened container, like that's not your fault. And it can crawl up the threads of a jar. Oh my gosh. It was so bad. So bad. I was so pissed. Yeah. You would not have wanted to be around me then. Um Vern asked, do you know what works for ear mites that you can use on dogs, cats, or rabbits? I've only heard of this and oil. So like cooking oil, but not avocado oil, at least for the rabbits, because it's toxic for the rabbits, I believe. I know birds can't have avocado, so I'm assuming you wouldn't want that. So probably just use olive oil. Um, right, or Andy says ivermectin for ear mites, one at a time. One time. Oh, one time and they're gone. Okay. Amy's here. Hi all. Hi Amy. Welcome, welcome. Verna says 1 ounce coconut oil, about 15 to 20 drops tea tree oil. Okay. And Amy says olive oil for rabbits. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I've heard whatever you cook with oil, and then personally I would edit that to say no avocado because I mostly cook with avocado oil. Um, and it's not likely good for your animals. Well, I don't know about cats and dogs, but rabbits and chickens and quail. I know for the birds it's not good. I mean it causes cardiac arrest in them. I don't know what it might do for rabbits. Um, don't try it. Just don't use it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Amy, I hope you're doing well. We've been talking about all sorts of bugs today. Yeah. Coconut oil is good for rabbits. And coconut oil is at room temperature. It's a solid. I don't know how warm it has to be for it to start to change to a liquid. It's not that much though. Yeah. Joy says I used oatmeal for a substrate. She's talking about for her mealworms. Very cool. Um, yeah. I always wonder exactly how they do the oats for oatmeal because I have, the wild oats. in my pasture, and it's interesting because I have opened them and gotten the green seed and eaten it, and that's really tasty. It's really sweet. Really sweet. It's not really sweet, but it's sweeter than you think it will be, and so it's sweet. And but to actually harvest them and get them out of all the little holes, that's gotta take so much work by hand. And I'm sure it's all machine done now, but my goodness, can you imagine that? Okay, they do get stuck in the Vaseline, Joy says. And millions of them. Oh, ugh. And versus, okay, coconut oil melts as soon as it touches live body. Okay. I'm glad you specified live. Andy says, and I believe less stress on rabbits to get one drop on the ear daily. Okay. So yeah, so less stress for the one drop instead of daily on the with the other oil, because it does have to happen multiple times. I've not had to do it, so hopefully I don't have to. Maybe I'll put some Vaseline down underneath on the legs. Okay, so tea tree oil is one and done too. Okay. Okay. Joy says I don't have them anymore. The mealworms or the other ones that were in there? Oh, goodness. Amy says mix of wheat bran and rolled oats for mealworms, rolled oats for adult darkling beetles, and with carrots for moisture. I raised mealworms for about 5 years in the kitchen. That is awesome. And you didn't have any pests. Joy is reliving her nightmare of pests in her mealworm container. Yeah. Okay, so Andy says they say tea tree oil is harmful for rabbits, so I've never tried it. Okay. Do you know why? I don't know why. I'm not challenging you. I'm just curious. I've tried like the tea tree oil stuff for shampoo, and I don't like the smell. Okay, so no tea tree oil for the rabbits. So do you use that on dogs then, or yeah? What was your recommendation? Yes, Amy. She had grain mites in her mealworm colony. Millions, she says. Yeah. And I was just showing off what a hermetically sealed jar looks like. That you have oxygen in there, but oxygen can't get between once it's closed and latched. You have a good gasket. They can crack, so make your gasket is pliable. And it closes. And you do this. And it clamps down. And if this isn't clamped, if you get an old one at the store and this isn't clamping well, all of these little metal things are adjustable. You just take some needle nose pliers and crank it a little bit. Yeah. Okay, where it says no, tea tree oil is not safe for rabbits. It is toxic to rabbits and can cause severe health problems, including skin irritation and burns, seizures, respiratory problems, liver damage, death. Okay, don't do it. Okay, you were told it was kind of like you're saying about avocados to birds, just dangerous. Okay. Yeah. Olive oil it is. All right, Joy's gonna go feed some critters before dark. Good night, all. Good night, Joy. Thanks for coming. WD-40 for ear mites, that has to be a bad thing to use, doesn't it? I don't even know what's in WD-40. Yeah, that's an interesting choice. I don't know what kind of oil that is. Is it a petroleum oil? I know it's a formula because the 40th formula. I don't remember what WD stands for. That's okay. Okay, ivermectin works better. All right. I hope I never have to experience that with my animals, but you never know when it might. Yeah. Okay. So Verna's saying tea tree oil is dangerous for everything. That is why you only use a few drops cut by the other oil. Okay. Water displacement formula 40. Did you know that off the top of your head, Amy, or did you Google it? Yeah, I don't particularly care for the tree oil smell, and maybe that's why. Maybe it's bad for us. I don't know. What? WD-40 is great oil for joint pain. Andy, did you watch what is that movie? Is it the Big Fat Greek Wedding movie where they use Windex for everything? Is that one? I haven't seen that in years. Amy says used to have active ingredient of sardine oil. Okay. Sardine oil. Wait, why used to? Then it should be WD-41 if it's no longer used. Hmm. The mites. Joy said, Joy, you're going to bed. What happened? Okay. Sardine oil. Like, how do you get oil out of a sardine? I don't need to know this. I don't. I mean, they do fish oil. Yeah, 40th try. But then she said it used to have active ingredient of sardine oil. So if it doesn't anymore, then it should be WD-41. My homework is to look up the many uses for WD-40. I already know one of them is rodent just deterrent. I don't know if it actually worked, but we did it. We did a circle around my grandma's car after rats chewed $2,000 worth of wires on her car. And so I sprayed around my grandma's car every night. Hondas apparently are tasty because they use, somebody can correct me, something like either molasses or corn syrup or something in the wire coating. They use something that is apparently tasty to rodents. Fun. I learned this from the guy that we took the car to. He's like, "Oh, it's a Honda." Yep, it's a Honda. So I may or may not be correct. Let me know nicely. Um, you did that research last month, Berta says. Oh, okay, okay. Sardine oil. My goodness. Well, I don't raise sardines, so I'm not going to make my own sardine oil. Sorry to tell you. Andy says it was it was the 40th formula made or tried, and the name was the test name, but it just stuck with it. Kind of like Hootie and the Blowfish. Hootie and the Blowfish was a temporary name because there was a blowfish in the tank at the place where they were, and they needed a name, and that's what it was. Fun fact, as shared at a Hootie and the Blowfish concert by the Hootie and the Blowfish band. So, if you tell me I'm wrong, it came from them. Yeah. Fun things. Anyway, so I will be planting at some point. My goal right now of getting things done is twofold. One, process 5 rabbits. If it's not raining tomorrow morning, I will do it tomorrow morning. I was going to do it this morning, but it was raining. And then also build a rabbit tractor, another one that's 4x8, because I will be putting Ravioli's babies in the 2x8 tractor, which is still more room than what they're in now. But I would like it to be in a bigger one because there's 10 babies. So they will be fine, and I will just move it a few times a day in a 2x8. So if I don't get it done in time, it will be fine. But I think it would be better if I have one more tractor, and that'll be good because the next two groups that'll be will need a big tractor and a little tractor because I have Rigatoni has 5 babies and Risotto has 10 babies. So, and then if I don't know what's coming up. So anyway, there we go. Peppermint oil for mice. Buster says, all right. So I need to just plant peppermint around my house. Ringo was so funny last night. I went out there to check on him, and he doesn't like the rain. And Mama Kitty wasn't there, so I don't. Maybe she was with kittens. I don't know. I'm not convinced, but yeah. And so he was in there by himself, and he came out. He's like, "It's raining." I'm like, "You're not in the rain." But then he jumped down to show me a mouse that I presumed that he got. And I was okay, well, thank you. I thanked him profusely. And then he proceeded to play with it. And then came back up and went back to bed. Okay. And then I was like, okay, well, if it's still there in the morning, I'm going to go bury it. And in the morning, Mama Kitty took it and she took it under the car, and she at least started to eat it. I didn't watch her finish it. So I don't know if he killed it or if Mama Kitty killed it and he was claiming her prize, but whatever. He felt the need to share it with me though, which I appreciate, I appreciate. Verna says, my next video will be fun facts. There you go. There you go. Amy says, more catchy than Darius and the boys. Exactly. Andy says, my granddad and grandma would rub it on their knees, WD-40, and elbows. Grandpa said it was the Wonder Joint Pain Reliever. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I know this, but forgot this now. I'll try it on my knees and see if it helps me. Oh my goodness. Andy has a warning. Peppermint will overgrow and you will not get rid of it ever. Warning, don't plant in the ground. That was a joke, Andy. And I did plant spearmint in the ground next to a bed. And it took over. So I get it. Well, Amy, it might be an urgent lemon. We'll let Andy discover this before you try it. She's gonna be our guinea pig, our kui. Unless you're at Amy's yard. Oh my gosh. Amy has a mint that has been mixed in with hostas since we moved in and has not taken over. Okay. All mints have that tendency. 8 years. Okay, well, there's some other works at hand there. So I do have a friend that when he moved into his house, he went to go mow the back lawn and came back inside because his back lawn was not lawn. It was chives, onion chives. So he was crying. Oh, can you imagine that? Go out and play on the lawn or lay down on the lawn and onion. Gross. Yeah, Verna, I think you're probably right. The hostas are keeping it in check. Are hostas edible? I think they are, aren't they? Is that what I have? I have not taken the time to figure this out because it's not in my need to know category right now. Amy says, I have some of the mints that have tiny pepper-like granule dots on the highest leaves. I don't know what that might be. Did you buy it or did you find it? It has a square stem, right? Mints have mint family. The mint family, not necessarily an edible mint, but the mint family has a square stem. Mowing makes me cry. Yeah. Oh, any thoughts? I haven't gone looking for why. You mean, is it like a disease or like a egg of an insect? I'm guessing egg of an insect because that is the theme tonight is insects. Um, Bug poop. See? It's all about bugs. I do not know. Does it come off or can you cut into it and it we need more information, Amy. Okay, Andy says there was some planted here when I moved in 12 years later. I still have not gotten rid of it. 2 years ago, I thought it was gone. This year, it's taken over again. Sounds like ivy. Man. Looks like it could be a pest similar to aphids. Aphids, yeah, like Verna says, could well be a type of aphids. Aphids come in a whole bunch of different sizes and colors. So not all aphids are green. Most aphids that people see are green. There's a particular variety that grows on milkweed that is like this yellow orange. I've seen black ones and gray ones, brown ones. I think I've even seen white ones. So there are different colors of aphids too. So it could be. So either say yes, thank you for taking care of my plants. Maybe that's the control, or squish them. Make tea. Make peppermint aphid tea. Extra protein. Would probably rub off. Doesn't look tightly attached. Reminds you of poppy seeds. Okay, Andy says to get that bug poop on my mint, but I will tell you it doesn't hurt mine. So I'm wondering if this is like a pincher bug poo. Amy has an emoji face. Look up pincher bug poo. What is the real name of a pincher bug? My brain is tired tonight, guys. It really is. Wish you had a bug that would kill the mint. Don't know what to tell you. Don't know what to tell you. Earwig. There we go. Pincher bug. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is earwig? Look up earwig. Well, frass is going to be the official name because frass is what that is. And Andy says fly poop. Just the theme of the night today is all about insects. There is a centipede that had joined me for work today. It's still under a cup in a glass. It's about that big on the floor. Yeah. Verna likes the word scat. I'll tell you a funny story about that. So I was on a construction site for work one time, and the guy there, he always wanted to learn like scientific words and all that. And so like we would give him a word of the week or whatever, and he'd write it on his board with the definition. It was really funny. And so I just used the word scat, and he's like, wait, what's that? I said scat. What's that? It says poop. Is that why some people are scatterbrained? And the answer is no. I think scatterbrained is like for scatter, not for scat. But yeah. That's good, Amy. That's good. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so next time you think of someone as being scatterbrained, have that in your head and you might laugh harder. Um, Andy says, I don't care what anyone says, flies don't stay away from it. Exactly. I've heard of that too. Like peppermint makes flies go away. I'm like, no, flies sleep on the mint. Like they will land on it and sleep. Does not deter at all. I agree. I mean, maybe if it's like a really, really strong oil or something and you spray it and you hit them, I don't know. But they definitely will sleep on the mint. Yeah. It does work. It does work, Brenna. Yeah. Okay, guys, it is rolling on after 8, and I'm thinking I should get out there and get stuff done before tomorrow. I am not going to promise a video tomorrow because I'm not going to have time tonight to. Do I already have one lined up? I should see that first. I think everything lined up is no longer like it's all done. But I should say this before content. Yeah, I've used up all my saves. But yeah, so stuff is happening with my computer. Mostly I think memory wise, so I just need to deal with that and deal with stuff so I can actually open what's on the external hard drive. I do think it's a memory issue right now, which is annoying, very annoying. But hopefully I'll take care of that this week. And you guys will have videos. I'm sorry. Watch something older. Share something else around. That would be super helpful if you guys share videos. My channel is growing slowly, but yeah. And then remember the first Monday of the month, which was last Monday. On the week where there is a first Monday of the month, our live will be on Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And then every single other one will be Monday. So it's just that first Monday of the month that gets switched to Thursday. I figure I said that towards the end for anybody watching at the end. Andy says, but yet I can't keep lemon balm growing year after year. I have to buy more. Lemon balm popped up. I did not need to buy any, but it's okay because it's not a huge amount, but it is more than one. So that is a thing here. When I was in Gilroy, it didn't really move. It was just right here, and that was it. And this is an area that doesn't get extra water, so interesting. You haven't planted in ground. You're not that crazy. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for coming. Sorry I was a little late, and thank you for suggestions. And everybody have a good evening. Thank you to Verna for moderating, and say hi to Lucy. And we will have a wonderful week, hopefully. And hopefully Best Buy people come back and say everything on my hard drive, my external hard drive, is savable. Hopefully, cross your fingers. And hopefully this other hard drive I can get to read. Oh, it's a computer issue with that one. So thank you. Have a wonderful night. And probably no video tomorrow, but we will catch up when we can catch up. Watch a different video to help me out. And then if you can share videos to people, that would be awesome. I'm hoping to get to 3,000 this year. Hopefully more than that, but it's a good goal. So thank you and have a wonderful night. Bye, guys.